Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and it is 9:41 at night. I literally just got home from the range because it was just the time I was able to get there so I can film some more content and some range footage. And so I took two rifles to the range tonight. Tonight, I guess, was kind of bullpup night, and I will tell you, I am generally not a fan of bullpup rifles. They're just not ergonomic for me. I find the length of pull is too short. I find that it just doesn't work, and I guess it's because I have shot so many firearms where you typically have the magazine and the action ahead of your trigger versus behind. It's just weird to me, and I'm not a big fan of having the ejection port and generally having the chamber so close to my face. It's just not a fun experience. I know there's some people out there that probably love bullpups, but I've always said I think bullpups are a solution in search of a problem. But I did review or shoot two very interesting guns tonight that I want to give you guys a little bit of, info on what I discovered about them. So one of them, in fact, this was actually the second rifle that I reviewed tonight, and I've shown this off in the past, and these are on loan to the channel from Jack number 2. We have the FS2000. Okay, so here, let me get this thing out of the way over here. Okay, so yeah, it's a bullpup. This thing is a lot of polymer, and it's kind of weird having the ejection port up here towards the front of the gun. It's weird shooting and having these casings kind of dribble out the front. And I noticed that if, casings, I guess, as they're coming up through this channel, if you're, done with a magazine, if there's rounds in there, it can affect the charging of the weapon. An advantage of this, though, is this gun is not gassy at all. Like the other one, the Tavor, which I'll talk about, is gassy. It is just as gassy as I remember it being. I've shot one in the past, and it was no fun. This gun also does not have a last round bolt hold open, and it does not have a bolt release. So you have a charging handle on this side, which is kind of like an HK MP5, but yeah, it's not very ergonomic, and the manual of arms is kind of weird. So you're shooting, and the bolt doesn't lock open, so you get a click, which means you got to pull this thing back. Of course, if you want to check, you got the toilet bowl in the back to visually inspect that chamber. And then you can, close the bolt if you insert a new magazine. But one of the things about this gun that absolutely sucks, and I don't know if it's just this example or this is something that all FS2000s have issue with, is the magazines fit in this thing so freaking tight. In fact, when I did the quick magazine change test on this one, I only go through one magazine, and when I reinsert the next magazine, I'm slamming this thing in, and it still doesn't pick up the first round because I didn't insert it far enough. You can't use PMags with it, so you can't use Magpul stuff, so you have to use standard Stanag magazines, like the aluminum ones, like the GI ones, and they're still super tight. I had a steel one, and I had an aluminum one. And yes, the aluminum one was made by FN. It actually comes with the gun. It is still super tight. And so the ergonomics of this thing are weird. And also, it's a very short length of pull, and you can't adjust it. So if it doesn't fit your body, it doesn't fit your body, and there's not much you can do. And I also reviewed these tonight with the iron sights. And take a look at that little itty-bitty rear sight. Yeah, I know some people are going to say you should put optics on it. But I just reviewed it with the iron sights. I'm an iron sight guy. I like optics, don't get me wrong. But I just reviewed it with that. And they're tiny. They are tiny, tiny, tiny. And also ergonomically with this stock, I feel like just when it comes to the size of my, body and my head, I have to really get my head way over the stock. I feel like my head is really tilted just so I can see and use those iron sights. I know I sound like I'm kind of, down on this rifle. It was actually okay. I will tell you the accuracy of this rifle is fantastic when you're shooting slow and not trying to rapid fire. This thing is really accurate. Very impressed with that. In fact, both of these were way more accurate than I was expecting. And the triggers were okay. This trigger, I haven't measured it. I'm going to say is I'll give it a 5 out of 10, maybe a 6 out of 10. It was okay. The Tavor, which I'll show you in a second, it's a 7.5 out of 10. Better than I thought. Way better than the Steyr AUG. But this gun is also plasticky, and when you're shooting it, you hear a lot of springs and stuff, a lot of sound. You know how, when you're shooting an AR-15, you have the sound of the action spring? This thing has an even worse one. So this is just a weird, it's a weird one. And I can see why it'd be interesting to collectors. Mechanically, it's different. I guess it's a short stroke piston gun. But yeah, ergonomically, it's just not it. So the tactical tuna, the FS2000, it worked. I didn't have any, problems with, failures to feed, failures to eject. I mean, it ran. And when I shoot this thing fast, it is like a shotgun pattern. I cannot shoot this thing fast and accurate to save my life. But when I take my time with it, it's actually really accurate and surprised me. So after shooting it, it's not a gun that I want, but it's not a bad gun. And I can see if you like bullpups and like FN, I mean, I can see some advantages to this gun, but I can see a lot of downsides, especially if you're kind of trained and used to AR-15s. So that was my experience with this one. Let's put this down over here. And let's get out the other one. The Tavor. Now, I have shot, all right, I guess when the Tavors originally came in, I guess they were just called the Tavors. And then they came out with the updated version. Which one is this? This is the X, was it the X95? Is that what it is? Or the X85? This one. So it's a little bit smaller. Yeah, it's the X95 is the actual nomenclature of it. And when I shot the original, it was super gassy. Like, it makes you want to cry. And this one does exactly the same thing. The ejection port, of course, is set up for ejecting from the right side. I believe you can change it over if you want. Trigger in this one was actually pretty good for a bullpup, and it's another reason why I don't like bullpups is when you have the trigger way up here and the action back here, you have to have some type of connecting rod. It just doesn't make it that good. This one does have a last round bolt hold open, and the bolt release is down here underneath the stock, but once again, you don't get any adjustments on the length of pull. So if you're really tiny or really tall or it doesn't fit your body, well, good luck. You have no adjustments. The AR-15 is so much better in that way because you can, adjust the stock. You can put on different stocks. This thing, you don't get those options. When it came to using the iron sights on these, the rear sight is super tiny, or the aperture is super duper tiny. There it is. And I thought this was going to suck. But actually, just kind of taking my time with this thing, once again, it was very accurate. It was very accurate when I shot it like the original 10, then like the 20 yards and 25 yards. I was able to kind of bench rest these as well. I was wondering if I was going to be able to do that in my testing because, you don't have a lot of room up here, but I was actually able to get that. And just using these tiny iron sights, the rifle was actually really accurate. It surprised me. But when you shoot this thing fast, it's all over the place. I don't know what it is. If it's the bullpup, if it's the ergonomics, I don't know. But it's going to be a really interesting range report because it's going to start off with great accuracy, and then it just goes off the rails. And I also think these both recoil a little bit more than I would want them to. I really feel like ARs are a little bit more balanced for 5.56. These are just not. And I think it just has to do with the action being back here and how it affects, I guess, just kind of your point of aim when the gun is recoiling. I know that countries around the world use bullpup rifles. I mean, Israel does, obviously. Belgium does, Austria does. I get it. I totally get it. But I feel like it's a cool concept. It's an interesting idea, but it's a solution looking for a problem. But I just don't see the advantage of them. They're definitely cool, but I don't know. But they both actually work. They function good. And as I said, if I was going to just use these as a range gun, be totally fine. I'm very impressed with the accuracy. But where I can put a lot of rounds on target really fast with an AR, these I can't. I mean, I was kind of embarrassed on one of them. It was this one here, where I think I had the target at 12 yards or 15 yards where I do my little mag dump test. And I'm not joking, out of 30 rounds, I would say maybe 15 were on paper. Yeah, and that is not like me. And especially when the range report started off where I'm grouping like this. So it's just the way it was. Just the way it was. But that's what happened. And interesting. My opinion of bullpups really haven't changed. But these are good rifles in the sense that I think they're well built. I may disagree with some of the design choices or the aesthetic choices, but from a functionality standpoint and a build standpoint, perfectly fine rifles. Just might not be for me. So, what do you guys think about bullpup rifles? Do you guys own any? Or, you know, do you guys maybe have ventured into the bullpup world and then go, and go back to the regular like AR world or AK world? I'm just curious. As I said, they're a cool idea. They're a cool idea, and it looks like you're, you know, shooting a firearm from the future, you know, like some sci-fi movie. But yeah, but that was my experience tonight. So I just wanted to get back tonight and share that with you and see what you guys think or had to say. And I'm sorry that I haven't made a lot of Texas Gun Vault 2 videos lately. I've literally just been so busy between work and rehearsals and performances. You guys know I'm a musician and so forth. So I just do my best, and I try to make content whenever I can. So I think that's all I really wanted to talk about tonight. I have some ideas of some other things I want to talk about maybe tomorrow night, about anti-gunners and some of their arguments regarding guns that they want to ban. Like a gun can't be too small, but it can't be too big. It can't be anyway. We'll talk about it. In fact, it's something I think that Coleon Noir recently talked about in one of his videos, and I thought what his points were spot on. So anyway, I guess that's it. Oh, I wanted to say too, I realized that the date passed and nobody said anything, and I have to go do some research. Has anybody heard who the new executive vice president of the NRA is, if they've even announced it? Because I know that Wayne LaPierre's term was supposed to end on January the 31st, I think, of this year, but no one said anything, so I don't know what's going on. So I have to go look at that, because you guys know I like to always talk about the NRA drama, because, yeah. Anyway, but that's all I got for you tonight. Shot some bullpups, had some fun. I think I got some good footage. And I think these are going to be some interesting range reports. So let me know what you guys think. And if you watch to the end of this video, the word of the day is bullpup. Bullpup because I shot 2 bullpup rifles. And that will be what I work on this week when it comes to videos around here. So anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And yeah, that's it. So, as always, thanks for watching.